Right now we have the standings for the Collins division up, and we have Evans Clinchey in the lead at 8-2. Adam Logan is mere 11 spread points behind, also at 8-2. We don't have a score for Jennifer Lee's game against Bradley Whitmarsh. Jen was at 7-2 entering this round. Stefan Rao is at 7-3, and Brad is either 7-3 or 6-4 at this juncture. Over in the A division of TWL, we have Conrad leading the pack at 7-3. We have a game we are still awaiting. Carl Higby and Lloyd Mills at 6-3. Oh, and that result just came in. Carl did win that. He is now in the lead at 7-3, and there's a few players at 6-4. It looks like Mac and Ben are about to begin. And I think Mac will be starting. So we are awaiting. They have cleared the tiles from the board.
I got nothing.
And it looks like they're just instructing the players not to put their arms over the front of the racks and don't move the cameras out of the way, and basically just let us videotape your lives, because that's what's going to happen to you for the next hour. Right, we have cats in the background who are joining us. Yep, and it's pretty intense. As you can see here, if anybody is in the tournament and you wish to go to the buffet tonight, please see Annette to sign up for dinner. If you're not in Albany and you want to sign up for the buffet, well, you might not be able to make it.
Yeah, wait, I wanted to go to that. Think if I start walking now, I'll make it in time?
Yeah, maybe you can hitchhike.
Yeah. I'll go by Kitty back.
And I believe we're about ready to begin. Mac and Benji are, the tiles are cleared, and the OK is being given, and I think we are about ready to start. So we have a handshake across the table, and we are off and ready to go. Ben is shaking the tiles and passing the tile bag across the board to his worthy and esteemed opponent. And here we are, ready to begin. Try to contain yourself. The excitement is overwhelming here. This is the final game of the day.
What is it?
Yep. And it looks like Mac has started by trading a bunch of junk and keeping any.
All right, then.
Yeah, you had VWW, VQ, VVQ.
That's a lot of V's.
Yeah. I think, actually, is that a Q or is that an O? That's an O. All right, so Benji's on turn. After Mac's opening rack exchange, which looked for all the world like a fine play. There really wasn't, there wasn't much to talk about with that. It's pretty much just, exchange that. So an automatic exchange takes 10 seconds off of the clock, and for Mac, and then Benji opens the scoring with Motto, keeping PE.
Appreciate Benji. Well, no, Benji not voguing for the cameras here, leaving his towels and all kinds of entertaining formations. There appears to be a hyphen, upside down F, sideways G.
Yeah, Benji is one of those players who leaves all of the tiles, all in every configuration you can imagine. So it becomes very difficult sometimes to decipher what his rack is and how he's going to play the hyphen.
Yes, it's hard to say.
Mac is, there's nothing really standout here. Whatever sort of balancing scoring, sort of balancing play that scores a little bit is probably what you're going to just be looking at. You have stuff like Dean or Need, or, across row 7 or row 9. It could do something, blow everything up, play Reedmen through the M, which is a possibility. Probably something shorter, something like Need seems to be fine.
Oh, it looks like the results are in. Jennifer beat Bradley last game. And, nope, results still on.
Yep, I don't see the result on the scoreboard yet.
Yeah, she's currently listed in 3rd, but she only has 9 games reported.
So once that tally slip is entered and updates everything, then we'll have it for you. The ticker will be updated with the standings, and we'll have something ready for you. And Mac has decided to play a few more tiles and play Mender. The static Quackle would tell you playing Need across at E7 is top play, but it's...
Is Intender good?
Is Intender good?
I've certainly not seen it myself, but that does not mean much. The kitties appear to have taken a break.
It is good, but it is also Collins only, and this is a TWL game, so he's not allowed to play it, which I've never really seen the point of playing Scrabble where you're not allowed to play words. But such as it is. Mac does very quickly pull. He pulls a bingo, and after Benji plays Grief, he hits Dureens for a double-double, and hits the board very, very quickly. And so here is our game state.
Benji looks overjoyed. And Benji has drawn another hyphen. Or that may be the same one.
Benji's currently on turn. He's got a kind of a mess of a rack. The thing to do is if you're going to score, caching the P at the J10 square is probably a reasonable idea, and that's what he does. He plays Pewee, which with the K out seems a bit, like it could come back to bite him. But hey, that's...
didn't look like he had too many other choices there.
There weren't a whole lot of other choices. You have all these doubles and all this stuff that you need to deal with, but
playing scared is
could turn out to be a very game-changing play if the tiles fall in a certain way. Mac, sitting on the Z, has not a whole lot of natural Z places that seem to show up. Something like Says and Griefs might be reasonable. Not really a good spot to play Wares or something like that. If the geocachers hadn't intervened in the last year's Add a Word to the Dictionary contest, then Wares would fit very nicely underneath Grief. But
Whereas, you mean?
Whereas.
Yeah, and geocachers. And how many of them have showed up to a Scrabble tournament?
I know, they ruined our game. It's amazing how the course of history can be changed by one whimsical social media blitz.
Mm-hmm. We've seen that this year, too. Nationally, globally.
Yep, so there's also, there's potential to score keeping the Z. Few actually caches quite nicely along row 14. It opens up a huge thing on row 15. But it's also few at 12H actually seems to be a pretty reasonable compromise. Like that saves the Z and gets rid of the W, which really doesn't work with this rack, and scores pretty well. Not as big as some of the other plays, but it scores well. You could also actually just take out that Pulik spot and play Zarfs. Potential to be a bit dangerous down O column, but it's reasonable. That's going to top score for you. So that's another option. I think I would go for few. I don't think I put Benji on a K after playing Pewee. That's silly.
Had it, it wasn't going to set up a major K spot there.
But we'll see. Mac is still considering his options. And the few goes down. And Benji has Alveoli on his rack lined up. And that gets played pretty quickly. So now we're back to an even game. Mac has a tempo, as it is his turn immediately after Benji's bingo. But this does not look like it's tilting one way or the other immediately. So we have a bit of good play going on here. Very close game. And no immediate snapback with the Z that Mac had held.
Yeah. Both seem to be making very solid choices, though, not missing much.
So yeah, well played game so far. No major questions or comments. I think few was a fine play.
Got a lot of sense there.
And now, Benji, Mac is looking at Zyram and he has that lined up, and I think it's going down right now, which is, yep, that's the big Z play. What will Benji do next? He has Cuff that plays.
Did we lose Jess?
Yeah, Jess had to go. She had some other place to be at apparently at 11 o'clock on a.
Jeez.
Almost 11 o'clock on New Year's Eve.
That's just crazy.
I don't know what's up with her.
Seriously. Sometimes I doubt her commitment to Sparkle Motion.
And Cuff is going down. It's you can drop the Q for QI, but that's pretty much the forced.
You're saying Cuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Forced Q play.
It looks pretty entertaining.
And Mac has, a bingo lined up on his rack, and it's not taking him very long to put it on the board. So Mac has the upper hand. How will Mr. Schoenboom respond? The game has been pretty fast-paced so far.
Oh, looks like Jen did lose that game versus Brad. So she's gone to 7-3 and is in 5th place.
Still
plugging away.
Yep. A lot of games left. As I was telling Matthew O'Connor before, this round will mark the halfway point of the tournament. So lots of games left, lots of time left, and it's Jen can keep up how she's been doing. It'll be a really great,
she's doing fantastic.
really great result.
She works really hard at this. It's great to see her doing well.
Always wonderful to see hard work pay dividends, and Jen is certainly a very hard worker at improving her game. Ben is considering a couple different candidate plays here. There's no whiz-bang bingo kind of thing. There's a bunch of plays that score high 30s, 40 or so, that he has to choose from. Really, it's just the main openings that Snootily gave back. There's, rows 1 and 2. So there's stuff like Vanda at J2, 2J. There's, things to the S, through the S. Advise, Visa, and things like that. Advise would be nice because it does develop row 2 as a possible hook, and takes.
Right, would Vanda be the best choice for him? Looks like that might kind of shut down what he may not want to do. He may not want to be shutting down.
Right, Vanda would be difficult. Ben actually decides to burn the mouse and play Advise at the bottom, which actually does top score.
That's that looks like a pretty solid play.
It opens up a ton of stuff. So he's going to be It's gonna be a pretty interesting game from here on out, and let's see what Mac can do to respond.
Yeah, well, and the board was already, pretty open. Suddenly had opened quite a bit anyway. So, although these openings may be easier to hit, but there are two of them now.
Yeah, I've got to imagine that Mac wants to deal with that S in the triple lane, but
yeah, but now there's
row
there
15.
Are threats everywhere now.
So that's a pretty canny play, I think, by Ben.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
You know, even you're picking up, I don't know, like fewer than 10 points by burning the S, but you're gaining a lot in terms of O column, row 15, and you're leaving alone all of the stuff that's snoodily opened in the top half of the board.
Yeah,
that's a pretty.
Sadly, I don't know if his draw really helped out with that.
Pretty nice idea.
He looks pretty happy. No, that's not the alphabet, right?
So Mac taking out one of the many of the many threats that Benji's play opened. It's also the highest scoring play. So that's going to be a good.
That makes it for him. Now, so the stability top half of the board still open. Under advisee still open. Unfortunately, Benji did not pull to hit anything crazy here, I don't believe.
Yeah, Benji would have really wanted to draw better and had something, even if he just drew high point junk that's workable, and so he could hit something back for 40, given all the openings he created. Advise was a really, really nice, really canny play.
Yeah. Sometimes those nice canny plays don't really pay off,
Yeah.
You still need to draw the things that complement them well. He did not quite do that, but that's, that's the luck of the draw.
Yep. And so he comes back with Naira on the bottom, which,
scored what he could score.
There's not much more you can do.
One of the hardest things can be, you have all those single point tiles, not getting distracted by them. Just kind of now here, Naira was the best he could do, and so he did it. And that can actually be a really difficult thing to do.
And it looks like Benji's next rack is going to give him some comfort.
Yep, that was an interesting rack.
And yeah, we'll see what he can make of it. Right now, actually, we're quite a ways into the game. We have 21 tiles remain in the bag. So we've, about 2/3 of the way, almost three-quarters of the way through the game. And both players have played quite quickly. Mac is under 13 minutes, and Benji is a smidge under 17 minutes left on the clock. So, the game is moving at a pretty good clip, and it looks like time won't be an issue for either player if we do get into a close end game. Which, if Benji can cash his blank, he may put himself in a position where a close end game is in the works.
Yep. It's like Mac almost says butthead.
Yeah, headbutt and butthead.
Mm-hmm.
but they don't quite fit through the teen snoodly.
Mhm.
If I'm sitting in max position, I really want to try and muck up that top section of the board. I'm looking maybe at some sort of play at down M column.
It looks like he may be considering bushed.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play horizontally there, you're going to end up. The issue becomes you're going to end up
Opening up something else
opening
there.
up
Yeah.
opening up other things. So what you really want to try to do, if you can, is to
Down
play
there.
something parallel here with
Do
the
it
H. With the H, you if it's too bad it's not a Collins game, or you'd play hub in like a second. But something like even Hun, right? That's gonna make it's gonna take care of a lot of this problem area by playing Hun and making this awkward lane through the T. It obscures this O. It takes out the you have to hit a 9-letter word triple through SH. It really does a lot to muck up the board if you're going to play vertically next to this. And it does a lot of the board control
Mac
for
did
you
make
all
a
at
play,
once.
and Benji is laying down his own play pretty quickly. So let's take a look and see what
So,
those are.
yep.
So he did play bushed, and give Benji a very nice annex spot there.
So yeah, that didn't work out so well for Mac.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because Benji is able to play annex for 60 points and keep the blank.
Yeah, that actually worked out kind of the best case scenario for Benji.
Yep.
That many points plus keeping that blank.
Yeah.
But it looks like Mac has now drawn the other blank.
So yeah, that's
You're
really
Benji a good shot to get back into this game here.
Yeah, you're really looking to play vertically there, not horizontally, just to give back as little as you can and maintain as much control of the board as you can. The thing with bushed, of course, is that it's going to score a lot more than some other play.
However,
bushed would be 36, and a vertical play is going to score 20 something. So it could get to the point where it's a bit cute to be giving up 10, 12 points just to maintain that level of board control. But in this particular case with this board where the only action is in that upper right quadrant, it might actually be worthwhile to do something that atypical and play,
especially now, Mac is on turn, but he's also he's up tempo and 40. He does have that blank, but if he can't get anything down, and if Benji manages to get something down this next turn, it'll be close.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of real estate to bingo in. We are looking at the airball line in row 3, and that's really about it. Actually, a nice spot would be a DE bingo down O column, which actually will fit using the hook on an X.
Yeah, that would be really nice. It's certainly not a spot I expect either of these players to miss.
Yeah.
If they've got something to go there.
But it's I think they added uni to owl, so some small play in here might be worthwhile. I'm not.
A double on row 5 is not impossible, but would be tough.
Yeah, there's actually
line's actually there.
You have some hooks, so if you have golden rack, something OS or something OT, something IEST or whatever, that's actually in play. With max actual rack, there's actually not much to speak of in the way of big plays. He's going to have to spend some time cleaning up this rack. Dropping the Y for hay is actually one of the top choices. There's not a whole lot you can do as far as like mucking up this row 3. Because anything you do is going to get back row 2 and 4, and it's going to be a stronger bingo lane. So you're really not dealing with that. I don't see any reason not to just just play the Y. here, but it's difficult to make to pull that trigger because it just seems like
some things have happened.
such a dumb
or
play.
Maybe not. Maybe Benji's just counting.
Yeah, I don't see any new tiles on the board.
Yeah. So yeah, Benji was just counting.
So here's our board view as Mac considers his next move. As I mentioned, the game has moved at a pretty good pace. Mac is under 8 minutes, so he doesn't have a lot of time to continue. There's 12 tiles in the bag, so he may end up in some sort of time trouble shortly if he doesn't, if he isn't careful. Benji has 16 minutes on his clock. He's been playing lightning fast.
Yeah.
Annex went down immediately. Alveoli went down immediately. So, he's made a lot of these plays have been pretty automatic, and Benji's made them right away.
That's, seeing that Annex play right away, as it came down, as Mac played Bush, he basically saw Annex. That worked out very nicely for him at the same time. And it was the perfect play.
Yeah, and he
didn't hesitate on it for a second.
And he didn't stop to look for bingos, and maybe there were some I didn't check in Quackle, but Annex is so strong.
It was such a good play.
It may even be better than bingoing.
Yeah, scoring bingo points, keeping a blank, not pretty reasonable.
Mac's still considering what's what. A 40-point plus a turn lead, so he's basically a bingo ahead.
Yep.
There's no real standout plays that he has. It's just a question of, score versus balance, holding the blank, figuring out what you want to do. And at this point, Mac goes to try and control some of the stuff. He at least takes out the that potential double.
Yeah.
And it's seems to be fine play. It does some of the things that he wants to do.
Keep that Y, unfortunately.
Yeah, keeps the Y, so maybe he can cash it next time.
He now has Justify. If it were to play, which I doubt it will.
It does. It does. If it's.
Oh yes, it does. It does play. Look at that.
In that row 3 spot.
I didn't look at that. That's funny. So let's see what Benji's laying down here.
And Benji plays off. Cashes the B, tries to saves a balanced rack.
Yep. Smart play on his part.
And missing the bingos, of course.
He did have bingos, yes.
Yeah, he had backlit.
Oh, yep. Cubital.
He had backlit and cubital, and given that Mac's about to bingo himself, that miss cost Benji the game.
That will be the difference in the game.
The game is over.
Yep.
Game is over, and that's disappointing for Benji.
They played very well.
Yeah, they're tough finds. I mean, they're backlit, cubital.
Yeah, those are
not simple.
Nope, using a blank as a K or U are not immediately obvious.
But after Justify goes down, there's going to be he's going to have to hit O column and hope it happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 tiles in the bag, so Max Bingo's going to empty. And given Benji's just drawn the W, it's
Mm-hmm. He does have co-write, it looks like.
Yeah, his co-write is a 7.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to go anywhere.
Does not.
It's not going to go anywhere underneath Justify. I don't believe that you just screw that up.
There are some serious J plays but they leave the bingo lane open.
So probably not something to do.
So just by equity, Quackle is saying, cash the J and save the blank. But in my opinion, that's entirely the wrong thing to do here. You do not give Benji a chance to hit a bingo.
It does look like Mac may be considering it, though. No doubt that he's seen Justify.
Yeah,
That's easy enough to find.
He's seen Justify. He's considering other plays. It's given the position,
he knows that other blank is out.
Couple E's out. The pool is decent.
And Benji just made a very out of the way play on his last turn.
Yeah,
he made sure very carefully not to obscure anything. So
yeah,
Mac would be smart to infer that Benji may be holding on to that other blank.
Yeah, I mean, if Mac plays off the J, Benji could hit something like Detector, which is in the pool, and Mac draws a W and can't bingo back. Like, that's basically the only way he could possibly lose the game here is to pass up this bingo. As it stands, I think he would get away with it if he doesn't bingo, but it's entirely the wrong play.
And he may be making it. There's a really, really big hand he's got right there now.
And this is the sort of play that, Quackle might like, but it's not correct.
I've heard people say before, talk about kind of playing too much like Quackle here and there. This could be exactly that kind of thing, because that's exactly what he's doing.
Yep, and he
plays Jut.
And Mac does play Jut, and I disagree with that very strongly.
Does give Benji the 7-line, although I don't know, since Bay has not been, BAE is not yet in the dictionary, I don't know. But
I don't know. If he calculated it and found that Justified loses to Detector, okay.
Yep. That would be fair.
But, otherwise...
Benji's playing off the W.
Benji plays the W.
So what did he leave in the bag? How many are left in the bag right now?
There are 2 in the bag.
2 in the bag. Interesting. Yeah, and Benji's pulled the other C.
Just to go back a minute to the previous rack, we'll bit
still working going on here.
The K is finally out.
Yeah. Does Mac have anything? They do have Stalker.
Is Yickers?
Is that a thing?
Is that a thing?
I'm asking you.
Let's see. Yicker, he does have bingos, Shrieky, Ricky's. I think Yickers is Collins.
Oh.
Or it's made up. I don't know.
What's he going with?
And yeah, Ricky's is going down.
Mm-hmm.
I
think that looks like Benji may be holding. Mac has not grabbed those last 2 tiles.
It's a fine word.
Yeah, I understand if Benji's at all not sure though.
Yeah, if Benji doesn't find a bingo from the C or something, then yeah, you're gonna, and it's double challenge, so you're giving up the turn, but there's no.
Yeah, maybe he's the only way, but it looks. I mean, he's still holding. He's not, and he does have time.
Yeah,
to really fully consider and make absolutely sure.
That ices it, pretty much.
Yeah, it's bad he missed. The bingo miss a couple turns ago really cost him.
Yeah, he needed to play backlit.
Yes. Or cubital.
Cubital, like those.
Yeah.
That's disappointing for Benji. That the game hinges.
Yeah, a very nicely played game for him. Did come down to that one miss. It looks like. And Mac is drawing, so Benji's either not holding or he's taking his exciting courtesy draw of TO.
Yeah, it's judging by their body language, I would guess it's a courtesy draw, but
yeah. Although Benji did just pick up his pen.
Don't know for sure.
I think he's kind of aware.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. There are sevens sitting on Benji's rack, but I'm not entirely sure that they play
Yeah.
Erectic and Cirrhotic.
Yes.
There's some Circlet will go if Ricky's comes off, Cricket. So there's
However,
it may be that the only way to come close is that Ricky's comes off, and so in a situation like that,
I don't think it's coming out. I think he's aware. He was writing. He appeared to have accepted he is playing. So he did accept the play. He did realize that, much as he might have wanted it to not be good, it was good.
yep.
Sometimes, you just can't will him into place. He is playing a good number of tiles, though.
He's played probably. Let's see.
Not all of them, sadly.
Let's. What does it look like went down? All the game we waited for that K, and finally it comes down to bingo. And yeah, Benji plays Peace, which is going to be your top score.
Play, yep.
And then Mac will play out.
So, interesting how Mac did pass up Justify, which I suppose, it did manage to work out for him anyway. So that could have gone either way there.
Yeah, it seems given the shape of the board, given that that was the main place that a bingo was going down, it seems
Yep.
It's tempting equity-wise. Jut is entirely the equity play, but I think given the game situation and given the shape of the board, it's difficult to pass up the bingo there. It's going to be one of the few ways to lose the game. And that said, I didn't calculate to see if Justify loses to Detector. I doubt it does, given the score that they had. But if Mac empties the bag with the bingo and then Benji bingoes out and that led to a loss, then of course Jut is going to be the play. Don't empty the bag. But it doesn't seem like that's the situation. It seems like if you play Jut, he hits the bingo, you draw kind of, middling stuff. Then it might be a bit of trouble.
Yep.
That said, there's a lot of math involved that I did not do to figure out, does Jut outrun a bingo if it wins 100%? Maybe it's worth doing. If that puts you up put him up by about 80 or so, left tiles in the bag. So if Benji does hit Detector, you're behind by a bit. It's uncomfortable. Whereas Justify puts you up 120, and I think you're home.
Yeah. We've got some awkward stalkers hanging out.
So, but other than that one play, it's a beautifully played game. I think Benji played really well, except for the bingo miss that did him in. Mac, all his plays were pretty straightforward. I wouldn't have done Mender. I think playing shorter there is more important, and playing more defensive in an early game situation like that. You're giving your opponent a lot of opportunities, and playing 5 tiles, getting a pretty random rack. As it were, he pulled a big double out. But that it seemed like you're just creating way too much variance.
Would that have been a Crackle friendly play? Would Crackle like that play, Mender, there?
The static Quackle liked Need.
Say the championship player or even a sim.
Yeah, sim, maybe. I don't know. It tends to value a leave early in the game. So it's hard to say.
Yep. Nice job of an arm.
Everything else was pretty straightforward. Well done to Mac. That's let's see. This puts Benji down to 6-5. Mac goes up to 7-4. Leading the A division, the TWL is Carl Higbee and Conrad at 8-3. And we have a bunch of games that aren't in yet. Evans won his final game of the day. He leads the tournament overnight at 9-2, pending Adam's game against Jennifer Lee. Adam could catch Evans on spread to finish the year in first place. Stefan is playing Tim Wilkinson, and that game is still out. Brad Whitmarsh playing Josh Castellano, and Jennifer is still playing Adam. Lisa Brown won her last game of the day to finish at 7-4, so she's 2 games back of the pace at the halfway mark.
I am rooting these women on hardcore here.
Which, yeah, that's really
Jen apparently is
great for her.
Yeah, Jen and Lisa are leading the female charge here. I'm all about that. It's good to see some female names at the top of the Collins standings. Doesn't happen really enough.
So, we'll see if we can get an interview with any of the players.
Yeah. Benji hasn't yet fully wandered away.
So yeah, if we don't get an interview with the players, then we'll be signing off shortly. Right now we have it is now 6:15 in Albany, New York, which means you have just over an hour before the buffet begins. If you're at the tournament and watching the stream.
In case I have some questions.
Tomorrow morning games start at, I believe, 11 a.m. Eastern. I will double check on that right now. You get a bit of a lay-in after the New Year's Eve out. Yep, games will begin at 11 a.m. tomorrow. There will be 7 games on the schedule, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central here, and 4 p.m. In the UK. We are planning to be here tomorrow to bring you 7 games, and hey, we might have an interview with somebody. Hey, hello.
Hey, good evening, Chris. This is
Vince Castellano here again with the players of the last game, Ben G and
Mac,
the truck.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How are things? That was actually a pretty interesting game. With Benji trying to. Benji was playing catch-up most of the way, but it was pretty dynamic.
Yeah, I thought I'd play... I don't know if I... Yeah, I don't know if I missed anything at any point. I was just trying to keep the board as open as I could, and towards the end I was just fishing.
Yeah, I actually think the advise play was a really great play, and being behind as you were, it opened up a lot of different things all at once, and it left the top of the board untouched. That was a really nice play that we liked. Unfortunately, you did on the bail play, you did miss bingos on that round. You had backlit and Cubital that played up top.
I actually saw Cubital, but I also didn't really want to play it because I didn't think it would be enough.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think if you play there, then he doesn't get his bingo down, and that's about the best you can hope for.
He's still like and there's still the K to worry about for Pooh League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was sitting there the whole game.
I could have bingoed with Justify, but I couldn't risk him bingoing out with an Annex with an E with Decorate or Decoct or something.
Yeah. Did you calculate it to see if Justify would outrun the out bingo? No,
it wouldn't, because there was another C and a W. If I drew the C and the W, I think, and he bingoed out with Decorate, because that was still going to be 100 points. I think he was going to win. Certainly, if he played Decoct, he was going to win. But I didn't see a way. Because if he plays a 5-tile play with Jude or Juts or something, then the bag's empty, and I'm just going to win. And if he bingos, I can just outrun him by making a 40-point play with the Y and the S there, using the blank.
Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah, we were discussing that. We weren't sure. We hadn't done the math on that.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
We hadn't done the math. The the initial impression was that you want to play Justify to take out the most likely bingo lane, even though Jut is the equity play. But definitely
there's that NX D line.
Yeah, if emptying the bag is the only way to lose, then obviously don't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you like my play of advise. It's a play that I wouldn't have probably made like a year ago.
What'd you keep?
I think A. Yeah, A.
Yeah.
Yes,
Another
Captain
A.
I.
I mean, I had other plays like I had Vanda,
Yeah.
which does similar things with blocks the top lane. But yeah, it's a play. It's a very offensive play, and it's a play that I've seen like Mac and Will, players like them make. So it makes me more inclined to make that sort of play.
Yeah,
I'm usually shy about opening that much, but at that score, I think I had to.
yeah, absolutely. And had you gotten a little bit more lucky in your post-advised draw, that really would have done something for you. Unfortunately, you drew a bunch more A's, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Axe was a good pickup. As Max said during the game, that's a lot of points.
Yeah. Yeah. We were with that sequence, the Bushed and the NX. We were discussing maybe instead of playing Bushed, giving up a bunch of points to play something horizontal, play something vertical on the M column, like even like Hun or something next to Snoodly, just to be way more defensive. Hugh, yeah.
Oh no, I didn't have an N.
Yeah, Hewed. He had Hewed there. He had,
Hewed?
He got from that
Oh.
going down from the S. He had Hewed, Hued.
No, Dodd is Collins only,
Oh right.
or
I forgot.
something like.
Okay.
No, because the
Yeah.
Dago wasn't there. It was just odd. It would have just been OD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, play something like something in that it gives up about 10 points or so.
But to not allow for something like Annex.
But yeah, it leaves the board a lot more closed down.
Problem with that though is it puts the SH 2 spots before the triple, and he could non-bingo triple, and I feel like I'm more likely to lose doing that, and I'm also keeping the B, which isn't so good. So I feel like to avoid the worst case scenario, I need to poly play Bush.
That's fair. It's a very fair consideration.
But I didn't think about that. But I just feel like it's too many points to sacrifice, and like I said, I couldn't afford him tripling with like Vanished or something like that. Ending the game.
Axe was like the perfect play for what I
Yeah.
needed at that point. Scored 1 million, and it kept that things very open.
Yeah, that Annex play was just perfect for you right there. That was great.
Scored 60, keeps the blank, opens up a prime lane. Like it
that
just
was great.
the way it fell, it just did everything it
I had a
needed.
blank.
Yeah.
When did you pick up your blank?
I think I drew it.
I think it was right
Right,
after
like-
Bushed.
Yeah. That's what I
After
remember.
Bush, yeah,
Oh, right after Bush?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask us?
No, it was a interesting
Very
game to
interesting
watch.
game.
Yeah,
Yep.
there were a lot of positional things going on, and yeah, it was pretty well played for the most part. So
That's good to hear.
So yeah, I'll let you guys go, and good luck tomorrow, and don't party too hard tonight. And
you kidding?
but
Yeah, we're both
certainly.
known for that wild partying.
Certainly have fun. So thanks for joining us on the broadcast here.
Yeah, it's not the
thanks,
same
guys.
without you guys here.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I wish you could be there. Yeah.
Chris, I wish I knew how to hold this thing to give him more flattering. And we'll see you on Messenger. Thanks.
All righty. Thank you.
Awesome.
That's fun.
So interesting viewpoint from Mac and Benji. Mac had done the math, and yeah, emptying the bag would lose to the worst case bingo.
So
So
he didn't do it. That's
don't
fine
do
choice
it.
there.
That
It's great when we
works.
talk to people about potential misses or alternate choices that they made, and they thought them through. Even Benji, maybe not playing Cubital was the wrong choice, but he had thought it through.
Mhm.
He and he thought he was making he made a calculated decision there. Which I'd always rather make the wrong calculated decision than just plain miss something, because it's a lot easier to learn from that kind of calculated thing.
Yeah, I think he's right that he's a big underdog after
Yes.
a Cubital, but I think he's dead if he lets Mac bingo there, and I think he's a pretty big underdog no matter what he does. So playing the bingo is probably right there,
It's good.
but it's it's a good sign that you thought these things through and made
Exactly.
the decision.
Much easier to kind of adjust. Learn, just he was talking about his advised play, how he might not have made it a year ago, but he's been adjusting his play, watching some better players. So similar idea. He can look and learn from this, and next time we'll take it.
So good stuff. Good stuff. We still have a bunch of games out in the CSW division, not yet entered. In the TWL A division, most of the games are entered. Mac Meller is up into third place with his win over Ben. He is at 7-4. Joey Malik is still playing Lloyd Mills at 6-4. Josh Sokol similarly 6-4 with a result outstanding in Joey Kravchik. And in the B division, we have a bunch of results still out. Steve Azorio was 8-2 going to the final round today, leading the way in the C division. We still have player at 1/2, half of a loss, which is really good. Joseph Waldbaum is 9.5 and a half, and is playing Mark Hamilton. That result is not yet in, so we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow to see how it all turns out. It looks pretty. Like it's a pretty good result for him, but like we said before, we're only halfway through the event, so it's going to be quite a lot of games, quite a lot of Scrabble yet to go. And we're glad you could join us on the broadcast. We have 11 more games, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Join us again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, when we will continue with round 12 from Albany, New York. Your technical support provided by Vince Castellano and WGVC.com. And with this great setup in the playing room, and your broadcasters are Chris Leip and Randy Goldberg, broadcasting remotely from St. Louis, Missouri. Thank everybody for joining us. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and we will join you tomorrow for the first tournament Scrabble games of 2017. It will be a little later in the morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, and that's all we have for tonight. We're going to go out and enjoy ourselves now. Have a wonderful evening, and this is Chris Leip signing off.